Friends and folks, it's a lot of light discussion from a bunch of different topics on this episode, and so no spoiler warning. Please enjoy the episode. Hello friends and folks, and welcome back to another episode of Mechanista NG. We're here for 300. I'm Six Stepmon.
And I'm Dylan.
Dylan, we made it to episode 300.
It's quite a bit.
Yeah. And it's even after, first year of it, we were doing a lot of 2 episodes a week, and then,
Yeah.
less of that. But still made it.
Yeah. Well, what do we got in store for the listeners for 300?
Well, so I thought it would be fun to do just a bunch of we've become, a largely like request-based podcast, and I was like, hey, what if we did a bunch of requests in one episode? Obviously, that wouldn't work if we just did a normal method of requests, because some of those just, there's a lot of related stuff. So I reached out to the community, and I was like, hey, if you have a request for a motorized vehicle from animation, just one, no spin-offs, no related machines, we're just going to tackle the one and be very specific, and I'll make a little list of that, and we'll roll and we'll just talk about those. Yep. So I have a little sheet here, and we're gonna have some fun.
All right.
Start off rolling dice, which is, unsurprisingly how this would go. All right. The segments for this one are going to be interesting, right?
Yeah. Let's see.
Of you trying to guess stuff?
Oh, god damn it. Right. I guess that makes sense. All right.
So this is a request from Twitter user Bavity.
Okay.
We're going to start off just, we usually start off with like the leg or the foot, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, fuck. Some weird looking rims. The tires kind of flat.
The tires the tires look a little underinflated.
All right. Well, could you expand this out a bit more, please? Because there's no.
I can.
Way.
I'll give you quite a bit more with this one.
Okay. Oh, the Mach 5. Okay. Well, that one.
Nicely done.
Here's the thing. I wouldn't have got it from anything else other than the stripe up there and then the 5 on the side. That's like where it's like.
I thought about just giving you one or the other. I probably should have, but oh well. We're gonna do this enough times. The fact that you got it quickly is not a problem.
Got it. But yeah, the Mach 5, which is I believe in Japanese it would just be the Mach Go, right?
Yeah, I mean, they don't say Mach, but yeah, they say Maha.
Right, Maha is how they do that, yeah. But, the only reason I think I knew this is, I have seen the 2008 film, but, my other experience with it is, there was was it a Saturn or a PS1 game? Hold on. Speed Racer Saturn? Alright, hold on. Speed Racer... Oh, no, it was PlayStation. Okay, it's a Jalico game from 1998. Anyway. My uncle had it at one point. He had, rented it, and that's the only other time I remember really seeing it. Never seen the old show, really. I maybe... at most caught little bits of it late at night on I think it was on Cartoon Network late at night or early in the morning, I guess, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, the Mach 5. So this is Speed Racer's car, or what's his Japanese name actually? I don't know that.
Oh, that's a good question.
Because I know it's Maha Go Go Go. But do is... Speed Racer or Go Mifune. So that's the name. And yeah, this is his vehicle, which is a car that is
pointy
and has a lot of gadgets in it. A lot of gadgets.
It's true.
So to start with just the design of the car, and the car design, I believe, remains pretty consistent throughout its different variations, just because it's a unique looking car, so generally they keep it looking similar. It is a 3-pronged car, wherein, like, the frontal area with the engine goes forward to a point, and then it's got, like, where the wheels are inset into, each of those juts out. And then on the bottom of the outer points, we have the headlights. On the top of the middle point, we've got a large letter M stretched across it.
I feel like the placement of the headlights is kind of unhelpful.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to say that? Because it's like they're pointing straight down. Like,
well, and they're also
this car has no high beams.
Far back that they wouldn't shoot light up, theoretically.
Right, there's no high beams. There's no, like... Yeah.
Then, moving on, you've got... So, an interesting thing to me, the more I look at it, on the original at least, is there is no left rear view mirror, but there is a rear view mirror on the right side there. It's like a large... It's got a relatively large rear view mirror, but it's got...
That's an interesting point. You're right.
Structure to it. The canopy of the car, it is it doesn't have a roof, but thinking on it, I'm sure one of the buttons does that, right? Let me look. Well, maybe not. No, because there is a mode that closes it up, because there's Frogger.
Yeah, it has. Yes, exactly. I was about to say Frogger mode.
But otherwise, the actual glass is almost like a one-piece structure, and it's just in a U shape around the front and then the sides. The steering wheel. Where is the steering wheel actually? Is it on the right side? Or the left side?
You're pointing. You have your mouse on it.
Yeah,
it's on the left side.
But the problem is, okay, so yeah, okay. It was just the perspective of the image made me go, it's on the right, yeah, okay. And then you've got
no, it's on the left.
Or it's on the
left.
left. Yeah, when you're facing forward, yeah, the left. Or when you're facing the vehicle, it is on the right. But if you are inside of it, it is left. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's got these really small doors. That have the number 5 emblazoned on them. And feel like they wouldn't open given the design of the glass, honestly, because they always make the glass continuous. And I guess with it just having an open lid, you just kind of hop in.
Yeah, maybe you can open it and, like, duck under the windshield. That seems like that sucks, though.
Yeah. Interestingly, the seats inside of it, are a little taller on the driver's side, and then it's just kind of more flat on the passenger side. Then on the tops of the rear of the body, after the doors and everything, you've got these little openings, like these little intakes, and as you continue along the back of the machine, the 2 wheel wells at the end extend out at little points too, and they have these tiny little, like, fins. These what am I thinking of? What's the word for these?
It's not aileron, is it? My brain is failing me right now. Which one are the ailerons?
Plain tail wing.
Okay, it's not
vertical.
aileron.
Oh, the vertical structure is a stabilizer on planes, at least.
Sure. Okay. Yes.
Okay. So it has
Tail
these two like
stabilizer,
stabilizers, basically.
Except for they're not really, because they can't move. Stabilizers can move.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? These are just popped up. And then do we have any rear views of the car?
I'm sure they exist. It is hard to find. Like, ironically, it is kind of hard to find because there's so much fan work.
Yeah, or like I found
shit.
the Wachowski film, you know.
Uh-huh.
But I was curious if we just have the original.
The one, the only.
I found the Sete. Here we are.
Okay.
Which is so funny to compare to like modern Sete, since it's very simple, but so for the rear of the car, and a fun thing is because the seat on the driver's side is popped up, that applies also on the back. Like it's got this little like popped up area that comes down to a point before the little end of the car, and then it's got I believe these are, looking at it, yeah, it's got 4 tail lights, so just like 4 little circular tail lights on the back.
2 bunches of 2, yeah.
And then he's got a license plate area. No, like, exhaust or anything, funnily enough. That's visible here, at least.
Yeah.
And then, of course, would be important to mention, even though it's not really drawn on, there is definitely a trunk on that side, because that's where the little dude hides in.
Excuse me?
The little guy. The kid.
Say more?
I don't know about him. There's a kid that hides in the back. What else? Okay. What else should I know about him?
I haven't seen a lot of the show, but I don't remember that.
The kid that hides in the trunk all the time.
You've said it the same way several times. This isn't providing new information, Dylan.
Speed Racer Kid Trunk. What the fuck is his name? Hold on. Characters. Spritle Racer or Kurio Mifune. He has a pet chimpanzee who is named Chim Chim in the American version and Sanpei in the Japanese. They wear jumpsuits and hats, and then I'm pretty sure he tends to hide in the back of the car a couple of times.
Okay.
He looks like this.
Sure. Yes, I know this child. I guess in the episodes I saw, he wasn't hiding in the trunk, or it didn't come up.
I mean, it may have just come up in like one of the ones I watched. I just remember that. I guess they are the joke characters that will pop up and do something goofy, though, that it will inevitably help him.
I see.
In various episodes. Anyway. So, yeah, it was created by Pops Racer, or Daisuke Mifune, who is Speed Racer's father. It is a 2-seated left-hand car drive. No specifications other than it has a V12 engine. Which, those are old, which is kind of funny to think about. I mean,
V12, like, V12 has been around for a long time. It's not like it's outdated technology.
No,
they still make V12
this is
engines.
Fair. Like, looking at it, what kind of cars? Yeah, there still are motor ones produced in the modern day. Generally used by Formula One, particularly from the 1966 to 1969 season. Sure. They resurged, though, in 1989 with some of Ferrari's various ones. So I guess they have, like, they have on and off periods, probably depending on, you know, much like when we were talking about like the solar powered cars. I imagine there are trends in these races based on like, you know, hey, what won last time? Okay, let's try to copy that, and so on.
Sure, sure.
But yeah, so we don't really actually have any other specs for it though. However, the car has 7 special functions that are controlled by a button on the steering wheel, which are assigned A through G. So the functions would be A, the auto jacks. These are built-in jacks, and the driver can also make the car jump over obstacles by deploying them while driving. I'm thinking about a real car doing that, just deploying 2 metal pistons downward, and the results are not pretty in my head, even though I know in a cartoon it's just gonna jump.
Yeah.
But it is funny. You see, do we have a... okay, yeah, here we are. The Speed Racer wiki does in fact have the buttons as little articles, so it's got like a little picture showing the function. Very tiny picture. Oh, you got it, yeah. So yeah, that's button A, it's the auto jack. And yeah, he basically uses it to jump. Then you've got button B, which is the belt tires. These are deployable tracks so that the car can gain traction on any surface. So it turns the wheels into being treads, basically. Next up would be button C, which is the cutter blades, which are just 2 giant saws that pop out from the front. Generally used to cut through obstacles in the way.
Which always begged a question to me,
mm-hmm.
right? What about the stumps?
Then you auto jack over the stumps, clearly.
No, you don't. I've seen the show.
Oh, well.
Incorrect. You just sort of drive and they're fine. It's just fine.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Look. Button D, does the cover over the top of the car. It is the defensor or deflector. It is a hard, transparent covering that encloses the top, so that way it can protect you from bullets and other objects. Then you have button E, which is the evening eye, which is okay. It controls the lights, which can be controlled singularly or in tandem, so you can see more than ordinary headlights. When used with the night shades attached to Speed's helmet, his vision is enhanced to infrared light. Okay. Goofy. Then there's button F, which is the Frogger mode, which is for going underwater and whatnot. It basically just puts the lid over the top and then also fills the compartment with more oxygen.
Which, the, little graphic for it just makes it look like you gas yourself. Which I guess is, technically true, but...
And then, of course, a button G, the final button, is the Gizmo, which is a bird-shaped drone that can be remote-controlled by the driver. And it can transmit images and voice messages to others. How quaint.
Technically, there's a button H, but button H is just call G home, so...
Oh, well. But yeah, then...
That's the Mach 5.
Yeah, that's the Mach 5. Now, there was an American remake series, The New Adventures of Speed Racer. And
we're not covering variants.
Oh, yeah, we're not covering variants. Okay. Yep.
We're just
I have
gonna
to
roll
stop
again.
my impulse. Alright, that's the Mach 5, though. It's neat. It's a car.
Thank you for the request.
I'm okay.
Alright, this one is a request from Nulligan on Twitter.
Uh-huh.
I wonder if I can get a better picture of this. One sec. I had a page prepared, but the graphic is pretty small. So
I see.
Okay, this is a little better. Snipping tool, my best friend. I give you a little to work with on this first image.
Okay. Oh, that's the Gekko from Eureka 7.
That is the Gekko from Eureka 7.
Yeah, that's easy. Which is...
I mean, the thing that always impresses me is, like, when it's... You're always good at it in a way that's you know, pretty cool, but especially when we're just, like, this could be any machine that has ever been drawn, and you're like, oh, it's the Gekko.
Yeah. Look, I just think it's got a distinct shape for the ship. It doesn't help that,
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, GGP is watching this show, so I've been seeing it every week also.
True.
Let me see, because I do have a art book for Eureka 7, so let me see if that art book has some pictures of the Gekko in it. Actually, I think if I remember right, hold on. I'm just checking real quick. Where is that page? It isn't actually in this book. I forgot that the books I have are like for like the movies and stuff. There's actually, no, I do definitely have. Hold on, did I like miscategorize it at some point? Because I'm definitely missing a book that I know that I have. That's bothersome. That's going to bug me. Well, anyway, yeah, this is the ship used by Gekko State. The reason they are called Gekko State is actually because they are located out of, well, Gekko.
And they're sponsored by State Farm.
No. Oh, okay. Here we are. Found it. Thank God for having a search. I did in fact put it in the wrong folder. It was in the Elm Knight folder, which is a folder that is right next to the Eureka 7.1. So I presumably, when I click and dragged it, when I saved it way back when, I just dragged it to the wrong folder after looking at the book. So, oh well.
Gotcha.
Alright, here we are. Sete. Alright, so we got a good top... Well, you have the top and bottom there. So, let me just go to some of the more detailed images. I'll have them ready for when we need them. So, yeah. This is a cool ship. It has... So, for the front of it, you've got a kind of bulbous head on it. That has these 3 fins sticking out of the upper part of it. Still mostly horizontally. They're like at an angle though. And you have 3 fins on each side. You have these orange glasses on either side that make it look like it has, you know, eyes. And then on the bottom of it, you've got like this, I don't know what area that is actually on the ship. I believe that might be, no, that's not the cockpit. But I know there's like a little gun on it or something, or a sensor, I should say, not a gun. Okay, that is the cockpit, because here, I have a close-up. It's funny, right? Because you would think with the way it is, maybe the orange is, but no, these little hexagon mirrors match to the windows match to down there.
That's cool.
So yeah, there's that. And then you have a long, slender neck extending back from this, which then widens as you hit where the main body is, and then the body stretches out, and you have 2 wings going out horizontally, along with 2 thrusters on the back. The wings, some details on them, so they have these 8, 4 on either side, like these green built-in little like sections on each of the wings, along with some like sensory equipment located at the end of the wing. On the front, you've like got little antennas and little domes and stuff. The wings also have these little cuts in them, like before they reach, like before you hit where the main body is, and you can see like the wing is a separate piece there because you can see a panel line extending back. Finally, there are 2 horizontal slits on the top that are like the intakes for the 2 large engines on the back. Also, next to either engine, right before the little panel line on the wing I was talking about, you have a vertical fin going up and down on both sides. The vertical fin does lean a little bit outward. So it has 4 of them total, because 2 on top, 2 on the bottom. And then also located on the bottom of the body, you have a total of 2 3-barrel cannons. The cannons are able to, if I remember right, I believe all 3 of the cannons can individually articulate, like move up and down.
That makes sense.
And then, of course, they are also able to rotate on their little turrets that they are on.
Yeah, I mean, they look most inspired by, like, battleship turrets, so
yeah,
that movement makes
very
sense.
Very much. Just look at it on the bottom instead of the top. But yeah, and then the other thing of note is, so the top of this vehicle is mostly in white, and the bottom is mostly in this lime green color. It basically looks like, it looks like a Latios or something turned into a mecha. It has
kind of does.
It has a very organic feeling to it, right? It is both a vehicle, but also like almost like a creature, just given the shape of it.
Have to be a shiny one, because color.
Well, because the color, yeah. But yeah, trying to see if.
Oh, you know what? It's a shiny Mega, because that's the right color.
Oh, interesting.
Here, it's just small, but.
Okay, yeah, that is entirely fair. So, there's a couple of functions to talk about. So, besides the cannons, obviously there is a launch catapult for the LFOs on it. The launch catapult is located on the underside. You can see the panel lining for it when you're looking at the color art. However, I have also, if you're on the video, I have linked to art where basically located along the neck all the way down to the main body on the bottom. It has this extendable little ramp, and that can be used to launch the LFOs. And technically it opens all the way so you can launch them, I believe, both forward or backwards if necessary. Obviously less room to go out the back, or to like build up speed as you go out the back. And then of course from the opening, you do have a set of lights to indicate when you should go on the ramp, which is fun.
Sure, classic.
Yeah.
I love those, but is there? I mean, I can imagine situations where they're necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Broadly, though, I think they're probably not.
Yeah,
right?
If you're sorting, you probably just want to go. But
and it's not like there's other traffic for you to worry about.
Yeah, no. But your launch pads always have these, right? Like even in Gundam, when they've got the the magnetic catapult launchers, they'll have the little thing that has to switch to a green light before they launch forward in quite a few different shows.
Well, and I guess, I was about to make a point, and I think my point is correct, but it could still work for this universe, because I don't remember what other, carriers look like, because, in Gundam, there are carriers that do have multiple tracks, and so you don't want to launch at the same time, because you could collide. If that's the case here, then you would still train pilots to use this, even if this particular machine didn't necessarily need it.
Yeah, that is fair. Also, originally before this was used by a terrorist state that stole it, it was a military vehicle originally, obviously. Mm-hmm. So, there could be a number of reasons why you would have a system like that built in. But yeah.
And also, this one is variable, but in some, I don't think I paid enough attention to know how it works in this one. In even a lot of mecha settings, there is still a steam catapult-ish function. Yeah. And you want to brace yourself.
Yeah. Oh, also located on the back middle. They're a little hard to see, but you can see these little hatches here in the middle. These are missile hatches for vertically launched missiles.
Sure.
So there they are, popping open. But otherwise, yeah, it's just a cool creature-shaped plane, right? It's definitely one that I think actually benefits compared to a lot of mecha shows because they do have a few battles where they will actually have the Gekko, like, doing things. I mean, one, it's flying under the atmosphere most of the time. There is that one bit where they do launch really high up that I can remember, but generally, it's under atmosphere, and it flies like a plane, it's doing more large, like, plane movements, but there are some battles that require that more than an LFO to do things, so it will do, like, like a roll or something. But the way it's animated, because Bones is a good animation studio, it's a lot more exciting than a lot of Gundam carriers tend to be for the mecha.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Gekko. It's just, like I said, it's something I think about it, because one of the problems that Gundam has, where one of the reasons I don't really remember a lot of the ships in Gundam is they just don't let them really do cool things.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes sense. In Gundam, they are generally in space and they are doing, like, battleship things, so they're just firing from really far away. But you never, like, not that I can really think of, do you ever get, like, really cool moments of, oh, the ship is, like, banking around in a certain way or doing something, like, some kind of cool movement all that often.
And it's not even acrobatic, but, like, one of the few things that I will give Seed credit for is trying to make the ship, like, a cool part of the action.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, that's the Gekko though. It's a cool ship.
Yeah.
Does
Requires
like a full crew, but yeah. I guess I was like, okay, gotta resist my impulse. There are technically related machines, but I can't do it.
Maybe we'll do a cleanup episode someday.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, sure. Let's see. It's gonna be hard to find. I figured if I ask you, you probably have, like, sete or concept art for this, friend.
Okay.
I couldn't find it on a cursory search, and I worry you're gonna get this really fast.
Okay.
But, that's not the worst thing in the world, I suppose.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna start giving you as little as possible, obviously.
The fuck? Is that a leg?
Could be an arm.
I have no clue. There's no way I'm getting it from just that.
Okay. Give you a little more.
Oh, what the fuck? Oh, that foot. Wait. Hold on. No, this isn't. Okay, this isn't what I was thinking. Because at first,
what were you thinking?
I was thinking from Armored Core.
Uh-huh.
I was thinking this was the one IBIS machine from Armored Core, but it's not the one I was thinking of, at least, because I have the figure of the one I was thinking of. Is this the... Oh, wait. But, is this the one Cubile one? The fake Cubile looking one? I forget what its name
This is the IB01CEL240.
Okay, I do have art of this from the art book. Okay, that was actually not as hard as I thought. It was more when I saw the foot and, like, the fin there. So yeah, I have Armored Core 6 spoilers, obviously, when we're talking this part. I have Ayer's machine from the end of the game. Like, I did get that last year when that came out, the Metal Robot Spirits. Mm-hmm. And so when I saw the fin and some of the leg shape there, I was like, wait a minute. Because, hers has two fins going up on the outside. And I was just like, wait, staring. I'm like, okay, but that's now, like, close enough of a design that I am... Okay, I was actually getting it. Let me get the AC6 art book, because the AC6 art book is out, and it does have this machine in there.
It's a real shame we can't post GIFs for this one, because this thing's movements are cool.
Yeah, because it's an unmanned machine, inhabited by just pure coral energy that now wants to murder you.
which, as we're watching Eureka 7, you're like, huh,
Yeah.
coral, huh?
Yeah. Works differently, but, it is funny.
Sure.
It is funny that they name it coral, though. Yeah, this machine is really cool, in my opinion.
What are you doing?
I'm moving these around.
Oh, I see.
Because
it's like you move them on top of each other.
I wanted them to be in the order they are in the book. It was bothering me that I had them on opposite sides when the book is the other way. I have brain problems sometimes. And that was one of them.
Well, as long as we're being fussy, then let's just...
Alright. So, for the head on this machine, you've got a head with a rounded forehead piece. It's kind of bulbous looking, but organic. So you've got like a bit of a melon going on the front of the head. At the bottom of the head, below the melon area, you have like a little gap with some small visible eyes, and then like a little chin piece going around. The head extends back decently far. When it extends back, it ends in like a rounded point. The sides of the head have two like little separate pieces going around the cheeks, forming like almost little mandibles, and these parts themselves also have little antennae sticking off of them on either side. These antennae are swept a little bit back and have like a small sub-antenna in the middle of them. So the head relative to the body, the head and the body are actually like normal size. It's the limbs that are all gangly on this guy. So when you hit the body, the head is just embedded in the top middle of the chest. The chest itself, you've got like two almost like gill-like vent structures along the top. You can see them like there and there on the art. They're just like a bunch of like little slats that are facing back, but they feel like, they would open to maybe like vent heat or something. In the middle of the chest here, you've got another set of like cameras on the body. So in the middle, there's like this little embedded cylindrical piece. And then located within that, there's like a little hollow in the middle of it, and that has a little camera on the top and bottom, like with red lenses. Then on the underside of each part of the torso, you've got these like weird, almost like hives, like where it's like these 4 holes. It just looks like almost like a cartoon beehive to me, the way they look. Which, I don't know, but these might be where the bits actually pop out of, because there's 4 holes on each side, and it does have 4 bits on either side of it, so...
That has more than 4.
Oh, it does have more than... well, I was saying 4 on each
looks
side.
like 6.
Oh,
1,
wait.
2, 3, 4,
I missed the
5,
open
6.
one there, sorry, yeah, I only saw 1, 2, 3, 4, is how my brain
And then it
saw
continues off screen, yeah.
Yeah.
But...
Okay, well, never mind then.
Apologies for anyone with trypophobia, because for me at least, I don't have it, but they have the look.
They have the look, yeah. Yeah, I didn't think about that, but yeah. And then on the back side of the chest, there are 2 openings on the other side of these. These might also just be, like, intakes of some sort.
Yeah.
So...
Or missile launchers or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't remember for sure. But, moving on, so the arms are huge. You've got these initial structures for the arms that are just kind of like, where the arms are connected into, and they feel like they would be like the normal natural shoulder armor. However, they keep going forward, and then they extend into a giant shoulder piece that is, again, this is what gives it like the very Cubile feel, is the shape of this shoulder armor. Because it's, like, rounded around the front and the top of it, and then ends in a point, and then on the underside you've got, like, mechanical detail for it. Okay, I believe, actually, looking at it, the bits are stored, so there is, underneath the points of these armor, there are 2 more, like, pieces of armor on the subside, and, looking at the art, just to show a little close-up here of the section... it looks like that has like a door on it that opens on the top. And that's where the bits come out of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then at the base of these, sticking out a little too far from the body, giving it a very uncomfortable feel, is the arms. Right? You would think, like, if this was a normal machine, like, designed like most mecha, the arms would be over here towards, like, more towards the center of mass, but the arms are actually way far out now, below these protruding shoulders. And then the arms, being armored core arms, have a kind of plain bicep, just some mechanical detail on it. But then for the lower arm, the elbow is extended backwards, and this is the part that's the part that always feels very armored core. That it has this kind of like protruding like elbow piece. And then the arm, again, mostly just panel line details for it, ending in two pointy hands. Being that this is a Boss machine, it's one of those ones where it doesn't... Not Boss the company, right, we're talking about Armored Core 6, but Boss, as in an enemy boss in a video game. It's one of those things where it doesn't really, like, have this quite the same mechanical functions as, like... You know, when you look at AC parts, they generally don't have built-in functions anyway, but, you know, with bosses, they just kind of... They tend to do things. And sometimes it's a little hard to gather what each part does. The one thing about the arm that's a cool detail is on the underside there is these openings, and these are where the beam blade is generated out of, is just on the bottom. And it can generate a beam blade out of the arms. So, that's cool. Moving on to the waist, you've got a waist that, again, the body kind of tapers down when it hits the waist, and then you've got a crotch piece that ends in a point. And overall the detail is pretty simplistic, but the thing that's here is, like, this waist matches the size of the torso and the head. Where things get weird are these thighs. So, no skirt armor. The thighs are just kind of plugged into that waist unit. They are kind of thin and spindly. They have, like, an extra little armor plate on the front of them. Generally, it's just mechanical detail, though, for them. As you go down, though, they extend down a little further than you would expect the thighs to do. And then the lower legs, the calves are huge on this guy. So you got these huge, kind of reverse joint calves. You can see the way that the calves are is the knee armor that extends upward on them is on the backside. So the way that this is standing is it is not bending these legs like a human bends their legs. It is bending them backwards. And then these lower legs have, like, kind of muscular look to them, just with the way that, like, they extend out on the sides and whatnot. And that's, like, the main armor for the leg. The back of the calf has some thrusters located, like, radially around there's, like, a little central piece there. It's a little hard to see, probably even in the video, but basically it's just got, like, a little bundle of thrusters on the back of the calf. And then the lower legs just kind of stick out at the bottom of this armor. Like, the armor kind of thins out and it goes back into, like, inner mechanical detail, and then it's very thin and spindly, and these end in feet that have large armor around the top of them, and then you have a spike popped up on either side of the heels, and it's got these, like, really thin feet. The thing is, this machine does not walk around. This machine mostly flies, so these feet they feel mostly like decoration. Finally, it doesn't have a backpack, but the back of the torso, I didn't really talk about it, but it extends back decently far, and then has, like, a thruster in the inside of that as well, in the middle. You can see, if you're on the video version, if you look at the lower left, you can see the side view. Weird machine to describe. Because it's mostly just weird shapes. It is mostly humanoid, but with giant shoulders and really weird proportions. This is a cool machine.
It's sick.
When I played the game, this was the first wall I ran into. I had a relatively easy time playing the game. I was like, I think the game's difficulty is talked up a little bit. Then I got to this guy, and I was like, oh, I am getting my ass kicked. So this guy is like... Funnily enough, even like some of the bosses that came after did not beat me the way that this did at first. Just because this machine is relentless when you fight it. It is constantly in motion. It moves so weird. It does lots of like little rolls and stuff as it is moving around. It almost feels, which is kind of appropriate with it being controlled by Coral, but it almost feels puppeteered because it like will kind of like, you know, move around vertically, like almost like, you know, kind of dangly.
I definitely think its movement and AI make it like it is distinct. Like even before before Ire tells you, makes the assessment, you're like, this is not controlled by a person.
Yeah.
This does not. There's no pilot in this. This is too strange.
Yeah. It's doing all these like weird flippies. It's doing like these just bizarre aerial movements, very acrobatic. It's really cool. And then, of course, it does the really mean thing in this fight where you kill it, and then a bunch of coral converges on it, and then revives it, and you're like, oh, that was... Oh, phase 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is not something you expect
like,
in an Armored Core game, and it's fucking great. I love it when it does that.
It's good. It's good. You know, of course I was very angry at the time.
Well, yes, because it was already a difficult fight, and so you beat it, and you're like, okay, I got through it. And you're like, okay, I'm almost out of AP, I have no recovery kits, but I beat it. And then you're like, why is this not going into a cutscene? And then a bunch of red starts flowing into the machine, and you're like, oh no. And it just gets back up and has an entirely new health bar, and you're like, well, fuck. So it's weapons. Mainly when you fight it, the thing I remember is it mostly just fires a bunch of like coral energy at you. And then it has the bits that we mentioned, and these bits pop out. They kind of open up like a flower petal, and when they fire, they just, you know, they will fire at you and hurt you, and they move in different ways. It's got a couple of different patterns to them. And then I mentioned it, but it has it can do like giant, you know, sabers out of its arms, giant energy blades. Trying to remember if it does anything else in particular. That's mostly what I remember, is it floating around, getting hit by lots of red energy, and crying.
Apologies, I didn't say at the top. This is a request from Cy F. Sweetman on Twitter.
Ah, yes, okay. Thank you, Cy. Yeah, this machine's great. I'm sorry that it was a little hard to describe. It's one of those things where it doesn't help that the art is not... The art is sketchier than you expect, right, for a lot of mecha art. It's a lot... It's
but
more
it's
abstract.
But it also has, like, some rendering on it, and that combination makes it really hard, because it's like, if it was just line art, it would be easier to read.
Yeah. It's very digital sketch artwork kind of feeling. It's also colored in its art. You know, it has, like, the way the rendering is the colors that it is meant to be. It has, like, the little blue stripes on the thighs and stuff. But yeah, it's just a sketchier art style, but it's a machine that looks great, and I love this machine. It's really cool. It's really interesting because it's, you know, we're not going to talk about this machine, but since I brought up the Soul 644, which is the machine I have the figure of, it's really funny comparing the two different artists, right? Because this is, like, I believe a it's one of the Studio Nue guys. I don't think this is Kawamori. I think this is the other one, Miyatake. Because I think they both worked on it. I can't remember. Anyway, it's just funny when you see the difference in styles, though, you know. Lines. Just line art with, you know, very clear details. Well, this one, the details are there. It's not like they're not there, but it's something where the artist knows what they are more so than what you know what they are looking at a glance. It's just, you know, it's interesting just seeing the different styles for mecha art. Anyway. But yeah, the Cell 240, this machine's great.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Nice.
All right. Let us continue, I guess. Just
On to
keep
the next
train
one.
going, since we're just shotgunning these requests. Honestly, getting through them faster than I thought. I was worried at first. I was like, oh god, this is gonna, take longer.
Okay. Let me... Oh, right, I fucking did a stupid thing. This is gonna be fun to... Okay, I guess the way I do this is I just use my own snipping tool to... Oh, why does it... Well, so the images of this one were provided by the listener on this one, which is Emrys. Thank you, Emrys. It's basically impossible for Dylan to get this, but
I mean, let us try.
Sure. I won't stop you.
Okay, that's a wheel. The vehicle is like a kind of desaturated orangish brown color. Yeah, no, I don't know what the fuck this is. Zoom out.
Okay.
Well,
Give me
will
a
I
little more.
eventually get it, you think?
No.
Oh, fuck.
If you recognize
Is
it,
this an
it's not
Elakar?
impossible.
Is this an Elakar from Gundam?
No.
Okay, damn.
This is not from Gundam.
Okay. I saw the little shape of it there, and my brain went, oh, like the little Elakars that they have on the colony, maybe. Okay, but no. Ooh. I have no clue. I mean, I know what this probably is. I can imagine what this is gonna look like when we zoom out, but I don't think I know what this is.
Okay, I'll give you one more before I give you the full picture, because it is possible the writers will give you enough context. It is possible.
Okay. Oh, that the pair of jeans there?
Uh-huh. Yeah. They're not jeans. You'll find out in a second.
Oh, I'm gonna hit myself now because I can't tell then.
I don't think you're going to be able to tell with the full photo.
Okay, what is this?
I'll give you one last chance.
Okay.
I can give you
What is
one
this
of the
little
other
go-kart?
photos.
What is this little go-kart?
I could give you one of the other photos, which might give it away. Are you ready?
I mean, like, they got, like, a full riot gear on. Yeah, go for it. What the fuck?
Does this give it away?
Is this something from Ghost in the Shell?
No, this is from the Cowboy Bebop movie. These are the Bomb Squad ATVs from the Cowboy Bebop movie.
I've never seen the Cowboy Bebop movie.
Oh, it's pretty good.
Okay, because, when you show me the little hovering vehicle there, my brain goes, okay, it's something futuristic, that is dropping this off. Why is it held like that? What is this is so goofy. I'm glad that they're Bomb Squad on, where are they at in the movie? Are they on Mars, or?
I think this movie is on Mars,
Yeah.
yes.
Because I Cowboy Bebop's like a weird thing where I don't actually know that much about it, other than I caught some episodes late at night. And I remember the first episode of the show, because I remember, this is when Adult Swim first happened, is the one where the dude is like, it basically has Antonio Banderas and, why am I spacing on her name? Is it Salma Hayek in, Desperado? As, like, the villains, though, and the guy is, like, getting drugs that are, like, red eye or something, and it's, like, a weird, and that's all I remember, is basically that was the first episode, and that was... I remember also there was, like, an episode with a weird dude who floated around and had a gun and was, like, a weird, experiment man. That was that.
Oh,
that
the clown guy?
Yeah,
that was a weird episode.
That shit was crazy. Oh, and then there was the one really creepy episode that weirded me out where it was like there was like a monster on the ship and it was actually from like the fridge. Like it was like
yeah, that's a great
it's
episode.
such a bizarre episode tonally. I remember it just it freaked me out when I was younger just because it was so weird tonally because it's like
it's an alien tribute episode with the message don't leave things in the fridge.
Yeah, it's so goofy. Okay,
good.
so I guess I have a few more memories than I was remembering, actually, the more I think about it. But it's just not a show I think about all that often, just because I've never sat down and downloaded and watched all of it. It's something I caught on when it was on television. Anyway,
you don't need recommendations for it. Anyone you'd give, but that's a good show.
Yep. So yeah, this little ATV, the design of it is, it's got a little, I believe that is just a hexagonal, like, front cover for it there. For the front of the vehicle. It looks like it's got some tow hitches on the front, on the top of it, like, for cables. Then you have some paneling on the front there, and a little flashlight, located on the lower left part of it. Or not flashlight, headlight. Then... yeah, it's really simple. You've got a small body on the bottom of it. For the floor, it's just completely flat. There are, like, no doors or anything. And then as you go to the back, it pops up and back and up because it's got, like, the shape for a seat because you were sitting in there. The seat on the sides of it has, like, a little, like, bar. Just, like, a little handle to hold on to or something and to barely hold you into it. More, like, maintenance hitches on the side there. You can see there's, like, a little one there, and then 2 on the rear of it. I'm going to assume this little light or something on the back here is maybe a stoplight. Maybe it's got, like, a little red light on it.
Yeah, it seems like a single brake light to let you know when it's stopping or backing up.
Yeah. And then the wheels, it's got 4 wheels from the bottom of the body that are... They look like... why am I spacing on what they're called?
Tires.
Yes, but they almost feel like they're overinflated because there's no traction on them, though.
Sure,
is what I mean.
Yeah.
Like there's no. They are completely, like, you know. They remind me of of like, you like when a car has a crappy spare tire. Why did I say tire?
Sure.
Like when you have like a donut, I guess. Is what these look like, but those are just the tires on it. It's weird.
I wonder, to a certain degree, if the idea is, like, this thing is, like, as cheap, like, those tires are as cheaply made as possible because this is for the bomb squad and it might get blown up.
Yeah. I guess also traction on Mars would be interesting because Mars has 38% the gravity of Earth, though obviously it varies depending on your location.
I know they're in domed cities. The domed cities might have artificial gravity. It never really comes up.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is like a little buggy, though. So is this just used to ferry around bomb squad members?
Yeah, we only see it pretty briefly. There is a point where there is a bomb threat called in, and they send in the bomb squad, and they go and they find the bombs, and they're like, this was a red herring.
Oh, okay.
This was misdirection.
The way that it's mounted in the plane seems like, as the driver, it would be so weird because you would just be kind of, like, looking into a dark room.
I love especially the detail of these little panel spots here for, like, your head or whatever. You're just sitting in there like, well, this is intensely claustrophobic.
Yeah, no. Terribly, like, I don't like that, actually. I would be very uncomfortable in there. This machine is cool. I mean, it's not what we're supposed to talk about, but the weird little, like, VTOL thing. I assume it's a VTOL.
Yeah, this... like... Yes, those are just, like, ISSP, like, you know, basic, like, interceptors or whatever. You see them quite a bit in the show. They're just sort of floating around with their sirens blaring.
Yeah. Alright, well, that was quick to talk about because it's just a little goofy buggy, but it does, you know, definitely fits the parameters of little goofy thing to talk about or one-off thing to talk about, so...
That's just a little guy.
Just a little guy. It's great.
Okay, alright. How do I do this one? I don't think there's a way for me to do this one.
Really? Okay.
I don't know how I could possibly give you anything to tease with.
Compared to the last thing?
The actual machine itself is so small that it's like I can't take a part of it.
What the fuck? Okay.
So I'm just going to post... I have 2 pictures. One is sort of like framing, and one is the actual thing.
Okay. Alright, let's see.
This is a request from Grant, who's been on the show a few times. Thank you, Grant.
Oh my god, okay. Alright.
You see why Grant. I couldn't possibly just give you a little... Like, what would I do?
Give me Wile E. Coyote's feet. throw Wile E. Coyote's feet wearing these little goofy rocket-powered roller skates.
You know what's fun? Fun of being an audio editor, folks. I now forever have a sound clip I can use anytime I want of Dylan saying, "Give me Wile E. Coyote's feet."
Oh, don't do that. Don't do it. Anyway, yes, so these are the ACME rocket-powered roller skates produced by ACME. And like all ACME products, I presume these do not end well. Acme from Fairfield, New Jersey. And yeah, they are little roller skates. You're strapped into them, and the way they are is they've got like a little orange piece at the base, two little orange straps that go around like the middle of your foot, very, very, very flat bottom on them, and then the heels on the back appear to have some kind of rocket that you presumably you light. Given that this is Acme, I assume that there's originally a wick at the end of these, and that you just simply light it and then they go.
Quite possibly. Honestly, it's very impressive. Like, I think the design could use some work as far as like sensibility, but as far as like, it's a very compact thruster. It's quite impressive.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so it is these are you know, they're for go fast.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I assume they don't come with brakes, and that's probably the problem with them. Is they presume they just don't have brakes.
Let's see if we can get some more images.
Yeah.
No.
Mm.
Okay.
Wait. We do.
Ooh, we got a great rear shot.
Yes, I was gonna say these actually have a little switch on the side. They are not. You do not light them. From what I can see in quite a few of these, it's got a little switch.
Do they have tail lights?
It does appear that they have tail lights of some sort.
Oh, that's adorable.
Now. Yeah. Yeah, once you start these, though, I figure you're not stopping.
I mean, just turn the switch off.
You know what? Completely fair, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's terrific.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on to the next one. Okay. Let's see. Get the image we want for this friend. This will be fun for you to guess. You'll have a good time.
Okay. We shall see. I'll have a good time, tentative.
There's your first image. This is from... sorry, I accidentally hit a thing here. This is from a Very Fine Cat on Discord.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, what the hell? I mean, obviously a car. Colors are sort of a beige, like a aged beige, like the color of a plastic. Like if you had like old plastic items, like a plastic phone that was clearly from the 80s, but then you are a child that was born in the 90s, and so this is like what my grandma's phone color is.
To put it in fewer words, yellowish beige.
Yeah, I know, but I wanted to set the mood, damn it.
Sure.
Okay. And yeah, you got like you got a tire. Not a very detailed rim, just kind of a little metal rim there. It's got a green like foot area by what I presume is the door. It feels like maybe a safari vehicle or some kind of like it is some kind of utility related vehicle, because you don't have that little step, I feel like, outside the door unless it's some kind of utility. Zoom out. I have no clue.
Okay. I will give you some more.
Yeah.
Let's give you a little more than that. That's not fair. Let's do that. That's quite a bit of information.
Okay. What the hell? Okay, so you can see. We can see the. Is that the front on the right?
That is the front.
Okay, yeah. So there's the headlight. It's got a bumper with a. It's got like a green bumper that has like little reflectors on it, designed much like a real vehicle.
You're gonna regret saying that in a minute.
Well, I was gonna say the weird thing is these doors though, they have these like weird armory panel things going on them.
Those are not. I'm almost certain that that's not a door.
Oh, okay.
I think that's just a side panel.
Okay.
I'll admit, people might be shocked how little of this source material I've seen. Possible they wouldn't be surprised. I don't know, but
okay. I'm just like looking and I'm like, I'm not catching it immediately, unfortunately, and I'm starting to feel scared now, given that you're like, oh, you'll have fun guessing this one. I'm like, oh no.
Just because I'll be entertained.
Okay. I see.
As I say, I don't know this source material very well. Quite possible you don't. There are a lot of people who do, But we'll just go ahead and give you another snip, shall we?
Yeah.
This is your last chance.
Okay. Sounds like a threat.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, if you get this wrong, I'm going to kill you.
Okay. Beat me to death with hammer. Oh, what the fuck? Why does it have teeth? What the hell am I looking at? Okay, so, yeah, the bumper has teeth and is making, like, a little grimacing face.
Uh-huh.
And then it's got, like, a spare tire covered in hexagons on the front?
Okay, now it's funny.
I don't know.
You've made it funny.
I don't know what it is! I don't know what the fuck I'm looking
This is
at.
a vehicle. This is two different names. Some people call it the Turtle Van. Some people call it the Party Wagon. This is the vehicle of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, it's like okay, that's supposed to be a turtle shell. It's just
that's you not getting that is the part.
I mean,
that
to
made
be
it
fair,
funny. Like,
it
why
doesn't
is it
necessarily look like it at a glance. It's
sure. I mean, listen,
turtles
it's
aren't just like
as a
perfect
person who knows.
hexagons. I mean, there are those, I guess, but it's just look.
Yeah, this is the 1987 animated version of the Turtle Van.
Yeah, the worst part is, right, for people who know me, I do have a partner who collects Transformers, and sometimes Transformers will do crossover stuff because Hasbro owns a lot of things, and she has this, which is, in fact, the Party Van. I think I've never seen it in the vehicle mode, though, because, it also can become turtle.
Can it?
Yeah. Here.
Oh, because yours is the Transformer.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the one
like,
that's the one that my girlfriend has, is the Transformer one. Because
right. Sure.
No, I don't think anyone cares about TMNT all that much, but likes Transformers.
Wow.
So it's not 4 of them. It has a swappable head part, so you can do the different headband, and it comes with like all the weapons for them. So it's got like Michelangelo's nunchucks and whatnot. Do you know all their names?
This is one of those
weapons. So
this is one of those retroactive things. I don't think at the moment it's a clue, but the teeth on the bumper is kind of a clue.
Yeah. You know what? That's fair actually. Now that I think about it, because especially like a lot of their default looks. I don't have a ton of experience with TMNT, but yeah. So to describe this vehicle, the Party Wagon, you've got, I mean, it's weird. It's got the beigey color, which is, I guess, now that I look at it, I guess is meant to be like the underside of a turtle shell.
Sure.
And then this is like a weird thing to talk about because it's a goofy little guy. So for the front of it, you've got the area where the drivers are, with the driver and a passenger. Theoretically, everyone else is in the back of the Party Wagon. It's got
I believe often they are not. Often they are hanging on the sides, but it depends.
Okay.
Maybe not this version. Maybe
But yeah, the front of it though, you've got this like a spare tire there, but it is shaped like it has like a cover on it that is shaped like a turtle shell, and then yeah, it's making the little grimace face. Then the top of it, the roof is all in green and almost is designed like a little hat in terms of its design. It almost looks like an elongated hat to me. Like that's the bill, and then that's the back of the hat there. Like you just stretched it horizontally. There are two mirrors, one on each side, and the mirrors on the top of them have, like, little reflectors with, like, these little red ones on the front. It's got, like, a fucking, like, what I can only describe as, like, a radar thingy on the front middle of it. It's, like, a little rod with, like, this little square on top of it that has kind of it's a little bit of an indentation that's in red in there.
I just want to show people how distressing it is to have this vehicle drive at you.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Moments before your death. Just getting hit by the turtle mobile at fucking 85 miles an hour.
A bug-eyed, clown-nosed turtle car is coming to kill you.
On the top of it, you've got two guns. Two cannons of some sort. I mean, I presume they're not usually guns. I presume they fire other things.
They're lasers.
Okay, fair enough. And they can probably move around a bit on there. Then you've got the goofiest fucking spoiler on the back of it, where it's got like these little extensions on the sides, and then it's just so high up. And then, as mentioned, the side of the car, you've got these like big armor panels on the side. And then,
so these armor panels are also as like support struts or whatever, like little feet, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because it can fold out to be a door gun.
Oh, okay. Hasbro owns this. Okay. Right. I was gonna say, because you see this picture and you're like, oh, I see the vision in my mind of this G.I. Joe ass vehicle now, of this toy. Specifically that fold-out structure with the little turret in there. And then, on the back of it there, you've got these, like, little red lights or these little red vents on the front here. I don't know what this looks like from the back.
This is a terrible image. Apologies. It does appear that the roof can fold apart so that you could get your action figures in. I mean, so that the turtles can get in and out.
Yeah. Okay. So that pops open. Do we have any rear pictures of this thing?
I'm not
is
seeing...
Is this street legal? Does it have tail lights?
Okay, so unfortunately I found one, and it is not going to answer your question.
Okay. Oh, because the back's open.
You can't see anything.
Okay.
The other problem is that there have been numerous versions of this vehicle over time, so it is hard to... This is fan art, but probably it has two taillights. I'm not posting fan art.
Yeah. Okay, I was gonna say, I did actually find a rear picture of it, from the same model sheet as that one. And for that picture, it just doesn't have anything on the back. It's plain. This is for Turtles Forever, specifically, is the version for here. And it just mentioned, like, licensed by 4Kids, so it's at the bottom. So it's like their model sheet for the cartoon. A cartoon.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so this is a goofy little fun guy. It's kind of... You know what? I did realize the more I look at it, though, this is just kind of a Volkswagen van, like an old one, isn't it? But, like, modified.
I mean, not rounded, but otherwise, yeah, I think a lot of the similar proportions on the way the windshield is and stuff.
Yeah, and, like, instead of the VW symbol, you've just got, this big spare tire. I was just thinking about it, I'm like, oh, it's an armored VW for the back of it.
We're not gonna discuss it, right? Because we're not doing variants, but I just want to post as a comparison how joyless this can be.
Oh yeah, that's See, the other one's got charm just because it's goofy. What is this from?
I don't know.
Okay, just
I don't
some
know.
variation.
It's one of the variants that popped up. Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that only leaves us with one person. So a couple of people have made 2 requests. And then we have a bonus one if we get through everything,
Okay.
which it seems entirely possible
Yeah.
at this point. But there's only one person whose request hasn't been covered. So we'll go ahead and do that.
I'm assuming it's something from Muffin Lord, because I feel like, if I remember, I look in occasionally at the Scanline Discord, and I'm like, he requested something, didn't he?
Oh no! Did someone request something in the channel?
I don't remember. I don't know.
Yes.
If my brain just went, I remember Muffin Lord and you having a conversation last.
Right. I forgot to check. I checked my DMs, but I forgot to check that. Okay, there is. Okay, then I should roll. There are 2 more.
Okay.
My mistake, Muffin Lord. I apologize. And in fact, yours is the one we rolled. So.
Yep.
I
just, like I said, I wasn't like looking super at it. So obviously this episode's coming out a week later. I've been sick. You might hear a sniffle or 2 when going through this episode, because I am not feeling nearly as bad as I was, but I am still congested. It sucks.
I'm going to take a different approach for the image because this is funny to me.
Oh my god, okay. Alright.
There you go.
The fuck? Who the fuck is that? I don't know even who that is. Looks like a guy in a plane, maybe? Or a train? Monorail?
Perhaps an automobile? Plane, train, or automobile?
I don't know. Look, the shape of it's weird. The rounded window made me think maybe plane, and then I started backpedaling because I'm like, I guess that could be like the front of a train or something. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at.
You love me making fun of you for not knowing this?
Make it bigger. I don't know who the fuck that is.
Making it bigger is definitely going to answer that question for you. Don't worry.
I just don't know if it'll help with the vehicle. Maybe I'll understand when I see more. Yeah, I have no fucking clue. What the fuck am I looking at?
I'll give you the full thing, because
there's no way.
I'm going to have to double check the name. I don't know what the fuck this is.
Who the hell is this? I don't know who this is. The Teku Mobile.
Okay. Alright. I've got my choice of 2 pictures. You better believe I'm picking the worst one. Here's the driver.
Who the hissity hell is that?
That's Vert Wheeler.
Who the fuck is Vert Wheeler?
He's a driver.
In what?
He drives the Deora II. I mean, it's from Acceleracers, obviously.
What the hell is Acceleracers?
It's a show. I believe it is a CG animated adaptation of Hot Wheels.
Oh!
But I'm not positive of that.
Okay, when I say the phrase Hot Wheels Acceleracers in my head, some kind of light goes off, so I that sounds like that would be correct, yeah. Okay, yeah, I have no fucking clue. Now that I look at this, though, I can totally imagine this as like a little diecast guy, so yeah, you know what, that's fair. This is definitely a little Hot Wheels. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this vehicle is fucking weird. So it's a left-hand drive vehicle. The windshield, you've got like this little like round windshield on the front. You have a little bit of a gap where you've got some like car body there, and then the side windows are also round. I mean, this is designed almost like it's the front of a pickup truck, but really like bubbled out, you know. But instead of the bed, things get weird in the back. But we'll talk about that in a sec. You have
I'm so bad at this. This was actually Sound Jake. Sound Jake sent 2 messages in the middle of a bunch of me and Muffin Lord talking. This is a request from Sound Jake.
Oh.
I'm really sorry, Sound Jake.
Sorry, Sound Jake. But now we have the correct credit for me having to describe this goddamn thing. What is this vehicle called?
This is the Deora II. I can give you here, I'll pass you the link.
Okay, yeah, so I just wanted to see. Because obviously if I look up Deora, my brain's like, is it just going to pull up Kushala Deora? Alright. Oh, okay, it's spelled with an E.
Status destroyed, cut in half.
Alright. Whoa, check it out. Said by Vert Wheeler.
With hyphens. Hyphens between check and it and out. That's deranged.
Yeah, whoever edited this wiki,
Check it out.
whoever wrote this on the wiki is... It might be someone young also, just given the content. Well, no, because this would be our generation, so... Actually, no, it probably is someone, like... Because when someone would have watched this, they would be maybe a little younger than us. I would assume, given... Like, because when does this come out? Like 2005, you said? Yeah, 2005.
So probably not younger than me, you're saying.
I always forget how old.
Because I would be 16 in 2005.
Yeah, I was going to say younger than you, probably. Well, I mean... I was going to assume, like, aged, like, 8 to, like...
You're right. You know what? I was a little past Hot Wheels at that time. I was going to say, like... It's true.
Well, I was going to say, like, 8 to 13, right? Like, to be a, like, person that cares about the Hot Wheels show... I don't know, it's weird. Because I guess, like, a younger kid would care about it, but my brain also just, like... I don't understand children. I don't even remember... My problem is, my brain always remembers me as being 12 when things happen when I was young, and then I do the math and I'm like, oh, I was only like 6 or 5, and I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, what was I doing playing Parasite Eve at age 6? That was a silly thing of me to do. You know?
Of the two people posing dramatically behind the logo, one of them looks kind of okay, and one of them looks a little, proportions are a little off there. I'm sure it's a stylistic choice. I think it's a bad one. Anyway.
Yeah. Alright. Anyway. So yeah, the Deora II here, to continue describing it, front grille, is just kind of embedded in the body there. It's got little, smaller lights at the bottom, and then, like, little gaps in the bumper area there. Also has, like, a little metal bit at the front bottom there. Then as you extend back, so behind, like, where I said it becomes like a pickup truck, it's taller than your usual, like, pickup truck bed there, but it's not a passenger area. No person is in there. And
does it have, are those surfboards?
They do look like surfboards on the back of it.
Wow.
Which actually would make sense, because his team is the Wave Rippers, which are surfers.
Yeah.
So that might actually just be... He's just carrying some surfboards in the back of his vehicle, which is kind of funny.
Feels like it's not, you should take those off for the race, but,
I mean, given where they're located, I guess it wouldn't do anything. You could use them as an improvised weapon when you launch them off the back into your opponent. As it extends towards the back, you have two, like, little intake openings on the sides. And then you've got, like, this really neat integrated spoiler on the back of it. And then the rear tires are really far back on this design.
Yeah, really far.
Trying to see if I can find, like, a rear shot of this. It's harder than you would think. All the pictures are from the front rather than the back.
In this quiet moment, I will announce something terrible and depressing.
What?
Which is they did set, like, I checked, this wasn't fake. Mattel did sell Deora II NFTs.
Of course. I saw this image when I was on the wiki, so you can see, yeah, it's got 2 taillights on the back, and then just kind of has these, like,
4 exhaust?
Yeah, like 4 exhaust openings. And you can see part of the engine, I assume. Like, because I presume this whole back thing is for the engine. And other internals. The weird thing is, like, while this is still, like, a fictional vehicle, staring at it more and more and thinking about, like, some of the weirdo concept cars we've looked at, this is actually not, like, too unsound of a vehicle design, right? Like, thinking on it.
I mean, sure, it would basically... I do think
plus,
that
it doesn't help that I saw a real
so far
one.
back. Yeah, that rear wheel being so far back is kind of unstable and impractical. But beyond that, it's like, yeah, no, this looks like a bad idea concept car.
Yeah.
Apparently, it has jump jets, nitrous, and a grappling hook.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like the grappling hook pops out of that little metal bit at the front, maybe.
Sure.
Okay. But yeah, oh, and
It
to
also
describe
lists
the
under its
colors on it,
equipment
it is
surfboards.
blue. The canopy of where the driver is in blue. The most of the body is in white as you go far back, and then it's blue again as you go around the base of it. And then interspersed
with like black stripes.
I was gonna say there are black stripes on the blue areas, and then these two like orangish yellow stripes on the main body of it. And then
a yellow like truck bed, but it's like not really a bed because it's like so high up.
Yeah.
And yeah, lots of logos: Clone, Teku, Twoo.
Looks like this has a couple of different like liveries as well, because there's like, you know, like versions of it that have like that one has Teku, this one has like the Wave Racers team logo and stuff, and is all in blue.
Well, that's a different model.
Oh, it is. I didn't realize.
That's the World Race Edition. We're not talking about variants.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize that. Right, World Race. Sorry, I didn't realize that was a variant. But yeah. This is so even though the show was in 2005, this is a Hot Wheels first car because it was originally from 2000. So the first edition of this car, this was just like an original Hot Wheels car in 2000. It's gotten many releases. I presume these are all in different colors and whatnot, and then they mention a specific retooling in 2021. Yeah, it's neat.
Well, I'm not gonna roll. We do have the one listener who hasn't been rolled yet, but since I rolled Muffin Lord and then did Sound Jakes, with apologies, I'm gonna go ahead and do Muffin Lords without rolling.
Yeah,
I'm sure we'll still get to our other listener.
Yeah.
And let me get this as big as I can, and then get you part of the vehicle. You know, I'm gonna make it possible for you. I'm gonna be kind. This first image is possible. I don't think you're gonna get it, but I could just give you like a part that's clearly unidentifiable.
Okay. Oh, why does this seem familiar in some weird way?
I'm nodding. Uh-huh.
Well, it's something weird, right? Because is that another wheel there?
That is another wheel.
Yeah, so it's got two wheels like located really close.
Oh, they're not that close. It's the angle.
Oh, it's just the angle. Okay, never mind.
I mean, they're not, you know, whatever.
Well,
I
was just going to say, this feels like some kind of weird military vehicle given how close the wheels are together. It's going to be like a 6 or an 8-wheeler, I feel like.
Okay, all right.
It's in white. It's got flat angled panels. Actually, don't know, though.
All right.
This looks like it could be a real... No, this isn't a real thing, and we asked for animated, so it's not real. This is probably a CG render.
I mean,
then.
I did. My rules did allow for
well, like games,
an animated
media,
version of a real thing.
I should say, right?
Right, like if you had
media that is not real life.
Request a car from Initial D, that would be allowed because the vehicle can be a real vehicle. It just has to be the animated rendition.
Yeah. Okay.
So that said,
expand it for me, please.
Okay.
Oh, okay. It's got some more red than I realized. I am bothered by the fact that this feels familiar to me, even though I am not like pulling a name out of my head.
I think it should feel familiar. I think that's a good instinct.
Okay. There's just something about, like, the wheels being close together like that and the flat paneling that I'm like, what the fuck?
I don't know if you're familiar with this work, but you've absolutely seen it, like, mentioned enough that you would be familiar.
I think I'm going to have to ask for...
I feel like there are good odds you're familiar with
I
it.
feel like I'm going to have to ask for some more. I'm sorry.
This is the last one before the full. This is giving you a lot of info.
Okay. Oh, that fucking font. Oh, what is it? Thing with infinite vertical traction. Mako. Right?
This is the Mako.
Okay.
Mass Effect
yes.
1.
The font, you were right about that, because seeing that gave it away, because I was like, oh, that feels very Mass Effect. That feels very, like, N7 or whatever the fuck.
Uh-huh.
You know? And I was just like, oh, flat panels, a bunch of wheels. Okay, yeah. That's really funny. I like that my brain went infinite vertical traction. Yeah, no, here's the thing. I think exploring with the Mako was definitely better than the fucking 2 launching probes at the planet. Just my onion.
I think
it took more
sometimes
time.
The Mako could be a little... Sometimes the Mako could be a little frustrating, but I ultimately found it was fun, and I think a lot of the frustration was charming. I was not with the angry people on this one.
Yeah, no,
I
remembered it had a bad reputation, and I was like, okay, so you just replaced it with me holding down L and searching the planet for blinkies, and then firing a probe?
What people were really mad about is that there was nothing on those damn planets. It wasn't the Mako. The Mako was just the thing they were, they're escaping.
But that's the thing that annoyed me, right, is like, I was like, everyone
Totally.
just said, oh, the Mako controls terribly, it sucks, etc. And I'm like, are you sure your problem isn't just that you don't like the exploration itself? And, like I said, they ended up replacing it with a thing I found way more tedious. Sure, maybe it takes it takes less time than exploring the planets with the Mako, but at least, like, when I'm, like, exploring the planet with the Mako, it felt like I was doing something, rather than, like, I just... launching the probes annoyed me in Mass Effect 2, basically, is my point. Whereas I liked driving the little thing around. Especially because I used to get really scared because the one time a Thresher Maw popped down and murdered me, I was like, oh god. And I'm like, any planet could have these now. This is scary. I don't like that.
I mean, that did happen to me the one time, but then it was like, fighting enemies you were supposed to fight with a Mako on foot was pretty
Yeah. I just
mostly
remember
if they were, especially if they were Geth, because I know, like, everyone made this discovery, but it was fairly late in the game that I was like, wait, biotic powers, like, combine exponentially. Lift makes something have a mass of, like, 0.1, and then throw applies force relative to mass. They're gone!
Yeah. Yeah, the physics in the game go really wild, which is fun.
Funny.
But yeah, no, it's a weird thing, because, like, obviously the Mass Effect series has a lot of problems in them. Each game has its own unique problems, basically. I think I liked 1 the best still out of them, and I played through 3, and I, like, barring the ending, it was a weird thing, right, where, like, I get why people were disappointed by the ending, but also my brain went, of course this is how it went, right? Like,
what were they gonna do?
What else are you gonna do? Yeah, like, you're not gonna be able to make, like, a really interesting ending tailored to everyone. Like, it's just one of those things where my brain, like, was cynical enough at the time that I was just kind of like, okay, yeah. And I was just like, here's the thing. Mass Effect 1 is a goofy RPG trying to be a cover shooter, but also, like, with a ton of RPG mechanics. And it's so janky that I kind of like it for that more than 2, right? Because, sure, the weapons and, like, the upgrades and all the equipment are goofy, but you could do things like, oh, I put enough cooling things on my weapon that now I can just infinitely fire it, and stuff like that. When you hit endgame.
I feel like mechanically, like, the thing that is emblematic of Mass Effect 1 to me is that no matter, like, every class in all of these games, every class has, like, weapon proficiency with different weapons. In Mass Effect 1, you still have all 4 weapons, even if you have, like, a sniper rifle you can't use, and the reticle size is the entire screen. And that's hilarious.
And I liked it, though, for just being a little janky.
Yeah.
Mass Effect...
And sometimes it was, you could use that sniper rifle as basically a melee weapon, and it would actually kind of work.
Yeah, well, and then Mass Effect 2 is like, okay, well, no one liked the equipment and stuff, so instead, we're gonna put barely any, like, we'll put a couple of cosmetics in, and I was like, okay, well, at least I can make my armor look different. And then there's only, like, in the base game with, like, no DLC or anything, there's 1 upgrade for each weapon, basically, and I'm just like, that sucks, actually, to me.
Yeah.
And then, 3... for all, like, that I think a lot of the writing sucks, at least mechanically, 3 actually felt a lot better to me than 2 did, because, it leaned in harder than 2 did, even that in being like a weird shooter game, and actually had like equipment and stuff. So I end up in like a really weird place where like I think I like 1 the best, and I think 2 is the worst, even though I think 2, just from general barometer, felt like it was like the most loved one.
Absolutely.
And it's just weird to me because that's the one I think I like the least. Not that I think any of them are all that great. Which makes me sad because role-playing game that is science fiction makes me happy. Especially because it's like, oh, we're just going to use like normal like science fiction based weapons and whatnot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, sorry to use this as like a springboard for just my opinions on Mass Effect, but it was going to happen. Anyway, exploring the planets with the Mako. In a weird way also, I know this is going to sound goofy and maybe a little pretentious. I kind of like the emptiness of the worlds because my brain goes, well, you know, planets are kind of like big, like weird empty spaces, right? Like a lot of the time, like real life, other planets. Earth is a unique case.
It works conceptually. Well, then you have to play the game.
The other thing is I played that game when I was much younger. I'm sure if I like revisited it, I would probably be a bit more annoyed by it. But at the time, I remember being like, whoa, you end up discovering some stuff and it ends up being kind of weird, right? Like there's like, sometimes there would be like the weird pyramids on the planet or like the one planet with the weird orb on it and stuff. And I remember like, I don't know, I was kind of entranced by like the weird empty worlds that just had some like weird occasional relics on them, I guess. It was just like a weird thing for me at the time. As opposed to, again, 2, which was, I launch a probe at the planet, oh look, I can land, time to do some hallway combat that has a little storyline attached. That will end the same way, though, where I enter, maybe say some words with my party members, and then I'm going to get shot at by enemies. And, you know, to be fair, Mass Effect 1, every planet basically had at least one dungeon where it was also similar. So, not like it fell that far from the tree, but it felt more tedious in 2 to me at the time. Anyway, the Mako, though. The Mako is great. It's a little vehicle that has kind of an interesting setup. So, the way the front window is it's... The roof extends forward, and it is angled inward. And so the windshield is just angled in a weird way. It's like the opposite of what you would usually expect. You can see there are 2 front seats there. Presumably there's more room in the back, given that you load things into the Mako and also have, you know, at least 3 party members.
I will say, in-game, the scale of this doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm. I can't really remember.
If you stand next to it, you're like, people don't fit in that without lying down. There's no way.
Looking at that window. And you know what? Looking at the size of the computer there, I can kind of infer, looking at that, like the size of that.
Because the terminal of the computer is like just slightly below waist level. So
yeah, this would need to be scaled up to maybe about like 1.5 times its size, maybe even 2 times its size, to make a bit more sense here, actually, looking at it.
Yeah.
For the vehicle, though, so yeah, you've got this angled window, or windshield, with 2 seats. On the top, it is armored, but there are like 2 like intakes on the top of it, like right here at the front. And then this machine just kind of is interesting. The top is overall kind of flat, but it does raise a little bit as you hit towards the middle of the body, and then there's the turret on the top of it, and this is able to rotate, and it is... I can't remember. It has both like a rocket and a machine gun, right?
I mean, I think it's not a rocket. I think it's just like a normal tank cannon,
like an
basically.
Explosive. Yeah.
But it does also have a machine gun. Yeah. You can see them actually.
I was gonna say this little one's probably the machine gun, and then that fires the explosive on the top. Yeah. Okay. Uh-huh. And it's funny because even though it's very square, when you're playing the game, it does have rotation ability.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the gun, though, the back of it kind of dips down a bit. Still very flat and panelly. Interestingly, you have you have these little bits of armor on the side that are popped up, and then in the middle of the back, you've got these 2 like square exhausts coming up off the back there, basically. Mm-hmm. And then the bottom of the body, yeah, so, you know, I mentioned the windshield goes in, and then below that you have more armor around the bottom. Don't really get a lot of bottom on this vehicle, though, because, like, you see a little bit extended on the sides, but most of it is just, you know, like, little struts and stuff for the 6 wheels that it has. It's got 2 on the front, and then 4 located more closely on the back. It does have some, like, little jump jets on the bottom of it. You can see them in the image with it being dropped off onto the planet there. These little insets, sorry, I said they were intakes. Actually, looking at it here, they're headlights. Yeah, inside of there, so.
I mean, it's mostly meant to operate, in 0G.
Yeah, there wouldn't be
intakes super useful.
Because, a lot of...
Or not 0G, I meant a vacuum.
Well, yeah.
The gravity doesn't really matter for that purpose.
Yeah,
Apologies.
vacuum. But, yeah. And yeah, this thing is, like I said, I remember it being a funny little goofy thing. I mentioned infinite traction because, you know, people would make jokes, and see, I like that about it. I know some people, again, use that as, like, a complaint for it. I love that you could kind of do the thing, like, when you're playing an Elder Scrolls game and you do angled jumps to get up a mountain. You could kind of do the same thing with the Mako. Where, like, if you're driving at just the right angle, you'll suddenly have infinite vertical traction and just be able to, like, drive up a mountain. It's great.
Yeah.
And then you accidentally use your jump jet, so you fly off sideways, and you're like, ah, shit! But, yeah, no. I think that becomes a fun little, you know, science fiction vehicle. Cute design.
Alright, on to the next one. This one is a request from Discord user Vushvazul. Pull this up. And, okay, this will be an interesting one to get you a little preview of. There's your first image.
What the fuck? Is that a belt below it?
It looks like a belt.
Okay. Looks like maybe a motor with a rubber band around it or something.
It does look like that.
Actually, you know what it reminds me of is, if you've ever taken apart a controller, this reminds me of, like, the things that vibrate in, like, a DualShock. Like, the little rotating motors in a DualShock. Yeah, I have no clue what this is. I have no clue what I'm looking at.
Here is part 2, which is the punchline.
Okay.
This is, like, I'm not kidding. This just happened independently, 2 different people.
Oh, god damn it! Okay. Alright, we've got another Acme machine.
I don't think so. This one, I think, is Wile E. Coyote's own invention.
Oh.
As you see,
Wile E. Coyote without a nose,
works.
by the way, and you instead have him with just his muzzle, but it looks like a nose because you can't see his nose, is kind of cursed there.
It's kind of cursed. Apologies. Bad crop. This machine's incredible.
Oh, this is the one. Okay, I remember this one. I actually, like, here's the thing. As mentioned, I watched Cartoon Network a lot as a child, and I remember seeing lots of Looney Tunes on it. I think it was one of those ones that wasn't really on during the daytime either. I think it was usually on, like, really early. Because, like, you know, there was, like, Boomerang, which was, like, the premium channel that had all of it, but I'm pretty sure Cartoon Network had an early morning, like, block of cartoons that was also just called Boomerang before they had the channel later on. And it usually had, like, the older cartoons on it. And that would include Looney Tunes stuff, I believe. But,
I don't believe these have any official name. I'm referring to them as refrigerator skis.
Yeah, no, this thing's great. So yeah, it's an ice box on his back. You know, the ice maker is located above where his head is. Obviously, it's kind of just haphazardly strapped to him. And then he is, like, welded or glued or something a rotating motor onto the side of the fridge, or the ice box, I should say. And then he is extended out a pipe on top. That pipe then has a vertical pipe going downward, which then has a grinder attached to it. And the reason why there's a motor attached to the back of this is the motor is powered and has a rubber band or a belt or something, some kind of thing. Probably not a rubber, something with grip, going around the handle of the grinder, so that then the grinder will, keep grind. It will grind without your hand touching it. You don't have to crank it.
I will say, rubber bands have grip.
Yeah,
if you
know
ever
what?
have
That
a
is
jar
true.
that you can't open, put a rubber band around the lid. I'm not saying it'll help. It may not be enough. Some jars are real fun, but like I've gotten jars I couldn't open otherwise.
My favorite detail about this grinder, which also looking at it too, it could also be like a sausage maker, right? Like just any kind of like thing for like mincing something. I love that it has the little attachment for. The reason why I love this is because my microphone stand has one of those on the bottom, and it looks like
mine too.
Exactly like that. And my brain's just like, oh, the only thing I own with like that is a microphone, but I know what that's for. That's for, you have this on a countertop or something, so it's stable when you're grinding something. Especially if you need to like grind it very heavily, I presume. But yeah, so it grinds the ice, which then fires out in front of him, and of course, Wile E. Coyote here is wearing a pair of skis, and he's got two of the ski sticks. I don't know what they're called.
Ski poles. Yeah.
He can ski down any mountainside because he will produce crushed ice in front of him that will allow him the frictionless or low friction environment he would need to ski really fast.
I do appreciate about this. You will note he has actually it's a 4-belt setup because he has a belt around, like 2 belts separately around the back of the machine that plug into 1 belt each for each shoulder.
Oh,
strap around
okay, yeah, I see how he's got that. That's fun.
It says good attention to detail there.
And yeah, you could use this, in fact, to build up quite a bit of speed from going downhill, and then even when you reach flat ground, because you would be producing more ice, you would keep going fast. For maybe catching a fast roadrunner.
And also, it doesn't necessarily have to reach flat ground for very long, because it also apparently synergizes with Wile E. Coyote's natural, like, perception reality distortion abilities.
Oh no.
Because he is able to coyote time with it, until, of course, he realizes.
I'm sorry, I've never heard it referred to as coyote time.
Oh, you've never heard of coyote time?
I know exactly what it means, right? Just from context. I'm like, oh, okay, I get exactly what that is. I've just never heard that term for it.
The term is, I believe, invented for video games, actually.
Oh, okay.
Because it is the term that they came up with it because they were like, it's a thing in platformers. If you, like, really look at a platformer, most platformers that feel at all good, you can technically jump after you've left the platform for a couple of frames.
Yeah.
Because if you can't, it feels like shit to people. That's coyote time.
Yeah. That's the thing, right? Is like, well, it's always funny, right? Because I think about like all the platformers I like, and yeah, usually they do weird stuff like that.
You fudge it a bit to make it feel better.
Yeah, well, you care more about the feel than like any attempt at like realism, right? You don't make a ledge a defined ledge or so on.
Right.
Anyway, but yeah, coyote time, I like that. Yeah, this is a fun little gizmo. Fun little gadget.
We only have 2 more requests,
yeah, let's do 'em.
So I guess we can go ahead and do those. We may not get to our bonus one because we're almost at 2 hours.
Yeah, but I mean, I have time. We'll see. We'll see how these 2 go.
We'll see. All right. Sorry.
Wonderful.
No, sorry, it's fine.
Oh, okay.
It's fine.
Okay.
I'm
just saying. I hear you chuckle, and my brain just goes, "Oh no, this is bad for me."
Yeah, no, it's it'll be good. You'll be fine. Okay. You'll know instantly what this is.
As a joke answer, my brain was gonna go, "Oh, the Luna tank," but it's not. I know it's not. It's not the same coloring style.
Close enough, though. I mean, just say you see the end product, you'll be like,
really,
not too far off.
Okay, well, give me something bigger, because I have no clue just from this.
I'm going to give you significantly more.
Okay. This is like a weird little goofy vehicle. What the fuck? So it's got like a bunch of like greebly panels on the body, and then a little like claw arm on the side of it. And then the wheels are weird because it's got like 3 wheels that are... It's got like a bunch of like grindy track wheels, and it's got 3 of them on the side, I presume. And then like I'm going to guess it just has 3 on the front, 3 on the back, and 3 on each side. What the fuck is this?
If only it was so simple with your count of tracks.
Okay. All right.
However, the Technodrome is not so easily defined.
What the fuck? Okay, never mind. I don't know what the hell this is.
This is another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
I see it down there.
1987.
Yeah. So here's the funny thing I see with this, right? Is you say the Technodrome. You know what I was starting to think this might be is like a weird BattleTech dropship or something.
Sure.
But I was like, well, the wheels feel a little goofy, but, you know, like, there's the goofy little box, like, rounded, dropships, and I was like, maybe this is from the BattleTech cartoon. But no, okay. This is weird. Okay, so to describe this design, the very top, you have what almost appears like a helmeted, like a helmet, like, that would be able to pop a visor down, but within the helmet is just a giant eye. Which is a big blue eye. Around the side, you've got, like, these little arms sticking out on either side of the head, horizontally. It's got this little red tank attached to the front of it. Then the body is mostly just like an orb, but they've greebled it. Like not just greebled it, but, like, when you see, like, it almost looks like computer-generated greeble, even though this is before they would have programs to do that, right? But, like, just the specific patterning reminds me of, like, you know, when you see, like, tech demonstrations on greebling something, you know?
Sure.
Just with how random and weird it is, but it's obviously much bigger detail than, like, you know, that, but I find it interesting. So, yeah, then you've got, on the sides of it, you've got a large track running from the top to the bottom, and then there's, like, another one of those arms, like the ones that are on the top, on the track, and it looks like it would maybe be able to move up and down that, is my presumption, but I have no clue. Yeah. And then on the front, it's also got one of those, like, weird pronged things that also has a little bit of a track going down. It's got a big foot. Oh, Foot Clan, right. Yes, okay, that makes sense, actually. It's got a big foot imprint on the front of it. It's got, like, a series of, like, red lights here, maybe window screens, I don't know. And then you've got, like, grinding wheels in every direction, basically, on the bottom of it. You know, for...
Oh, do you want to see the pilot?
Yeah, sure. Oh, Krang. That's the Krang.
It's Krang.
Okay, so Krang pilots this. Okay. How big is it?
Big.
Okay. So, I was going to guess, if it's actually huge, then these might be windows, actually, is what I was thinking. Seeing these.
Not impossible. I know that it is big enough that it has, like, a factory and detention cells inside.
Okay, yes, so this is like a mobile fortress.
Yes, it's got lasers, it's got missiles, it's got transport beams, it says here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
It's a whole
I don't like how veiny Krang is. I don't like all those, like, blue veins on him. It's weird. Disgusting.
We could find a version that's less grainy if you want. No, actually, no, sorry. That's not true. I can't do that. He is always veiny.
Disgusting little creature. Anyway. Yeah, this thing's fun. I mean, it's a goofy little vehicle.
I like this.
The giant eye
sinister,
is
tyrannical golf ball.
Very funny to me. But it's kind of fun.
I mean, you got to be able to see where you're going.
Yeah, fair enough. Especially when it's underwater.
That's exactly what he said to the engineers. He was like, well, I mean, got to be able to see.
Okay. All right. Well.
All right.
Did we say we requested that one?
Sorry, no, we did not. That is our second request from a very fine cat.
Okay. And then...
And then our last normal request.
Mm-hmm.
Normal, in quotes. Oh boy, you know what? This is gonna be so fun for me.
Okay.
We're gonna start off with just impossible, right?
Okay.
There you go. That's
okay,
impossible.
Yeah. Looks like a.
There's not enough drawn.
Looks like a green.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's it.
We're gonna give you a little
give
more.
Me a bit more. Looking at an arm. Or
it's a decent
is that a sack? Oh my god! I think I might actually know.
Do you know? Oh, I'll be so excited.
Is this the vacuum cleaner from the Brave Little Toaster?
This is the vacuum cleaner from the Brave Little Toaster.
I swear.
Incredible
here's
work.
the worst part. I've never seen the film, but I have seen. So I had a lot of VHSs as a child, right? And quite a few of those VHSs, like when you have a VHS, they would have a couple of little previews at the beginning for other movies, usually I assume by the company. And a couple of tapes we had definitely had the Brave Little Toaster bit on it, and I would sometimes like rewatch the little animated sections because I was always curious about it. And there was just something about like the sack and then like the little eyebrow ridge and eye thing that I could see there, and I was just like, oh, this like tripped a weird ass memory in my brain.
This full disclosure, Woosh Visual, Discord user Woosh Visual, is my big sister. And she was determined to get this one through, and I was like, Emily, that's not a vehicle. And she was like, I am going to find a way that it's a vehicle. And goddammit, she did.
Okay.
At one point in the movie, they tie a chair to it, and the other people ride on it, so it's a vehicle.
That's so funny. I'm glad I got it. And not only did I get it, amazing. But this is something that, like, I couldn't look up or anything, right? Because, didn't request it in a chat or anything, right?
No, just DMs. So this is, technically the name of
mostly just because I feel it's Kirby. Unbelievable that I got it, but I got it.
Yeah.
And I feel good about
this is
that.
Kirby.
What's his name?
Kirby?
Okay. He's, it's a old-fashioned vacuum. It's got, like, the very simple handle on the top that's able to move back and forth. The handle itself at the base of, right below where you hold on to it, the little grip area, it's got a little attachment that has the bag that gets full of whatever you vacuum up. And then, as for him, he's got, like, a very harsh eyebrow and a little, like, square nose.
He's got a big flat nose.
Yeah, big flat nose. He's got baggy eyes, which is a fun detail. He's just got like a little wheel on either side, and he's a vacuum cleaner. His mouth's like a vacuum cleaner mouth. Oh, I'm so glad I got
that. He is, of course, named after the Kirby company, which makes vacuums.
Yep, that makes sense.
Also to note, I guess, notable attachment, he does at one point, as we say, have a four-wheeled navy blue desk chair tied to it.
Yes. which can fit a toaster,
displeased.
A lamp, a heating blanket, and a radio.
I have only ever seen a little bit of the Brave Little Toaster, because as a kid, that movie is fucking terrifying.
Really? Okay.
Yes. It is a, like, kids horror movie. It is so scary.
It's so funny, because like I said, the thing with the Brave Little Toaster for me is I just remember seeing so many previews for it, and being enthralled by the previews, but I never actually had seen it ever. Which is very funny to me. There's a couple of movies like that when I was little. The movie that was horrifying to me when I was little, that is not a horror movie, is Snow White.
Sure.
Because when the hunter chases her in the forest, and the forest is also scary, it just freaked me out real bad when I was little.
Oh, I forgot that we do have another double request.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'm just sorry. I tried to put this together, but I guess I'm just
let us continue then. I'm okay continuing.
All right.
Again, apologize for being sniffly, folks. I mean, I'm sure if it's egregious, given that Six is a very studious editor, they will end up out. So that is also me apologizing to Six about it. I'm just,
Well, it's tricky because I can only do so much, because the video version I discovered a new trick that I obviously should have known, but I'm self-taught,
Yeah.
right? And no one ever taught me how to. Where I can hit like a key combination to add like a mark while I'm recording. That'll be like, oh, so I need to go here and double check on this, right?
Okay.
But
Like little
I
bookmarks.
can't do that to your track, and also, I only am going to do it for stuff that's really bad. Broadly speaking, I'm not going to.
I think I've been mostly good about sniffling. It's just sometimes I get overwhelmed and I'm like, okay, I have to sniffle. I'm just very, unfortunately, very, you know.
What is the best way to do this? Is the question. I guess we could use this. That's fine. It's not the best angle, but you're not going to get it until you get it anyway. This is one where it has the name just written on it, so at a certain point this becomes easy.
Okay. But would I know what it is if I saw the name?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So this isn't something.
Yes, no question. In fact, you probably... we can probably have you get it before then, but...
Is this the Enterprise?
This is the
I was going to say,
Enterprise.
that's a nacelle, just in animation, and I'm like, right, Star Trek the Animated Series. Sabotage.
Uh-huh. This is another request from Grant.
Okay, yeah, the Enterprise. I like the Enterprise. So, classic Star Trek ship. We haven't ever talked about a Star Trek ship before, have we?
We never have?
See, I like the Defiant, but, I mean,
I will
a cool
note,
battleship.
this is a piece of a larger... We do have on the request list, we have had the Enterprise requested. And at that point, we'll have to do the rest of the variants. Right now, we're just doing the one from the animated
we're only
series.
doing the animated series, so NCC 1701, the U.S.S. Enterprise. So, for the design of this, like most Star Trek ships, you've got a large saucer section at the front. The saucer, as called that, is saucer-shaped. It's got, on the top, you have some protrusions that have... I believe this is where the... Is this... No, that's not where the command bridge is, because the bridge, I believe, is actually at the... Well, where's the bridge on the Enterprise? I don't remember now.
I feel like it's at the very front here. I think this is like... God damn it, the hand. This is like, a shield or something. I forget, deflector shield.
No, I don't want the
remember
Enterprise D. I want the original... Wait, no, is... Yeah, Enterprise D is the one from TNG, right? So this is the Enterprise B? Or A? I don't know.
I am not helpful here. I don't know.
Hold on. TOS. I'll just look up original series. There we go. Where's the bridge located? Okay, because, we have this shot, right? Which is, I mean, obviously, sorry to use real life rather than the animated series, but you can see it's like a little bubble. So, maybe it is the top, then.
Maybe it is the very top, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, then you've got, two, below that little bubble area, though, on the top, you've got, two different distinct decks there. Then the saucer section itself is quite large. You have some random little, exterior windows located around it. I do know that this Enterprise is not as roomy as the one in TNG. It's not like they have, everyone loaded onto this. This one's mostly just the officers, the crew, rather than, oh, we can carry entire families and whatnot with us too. That way you can have your families with you while you're doing surveying and getting into danger. And then the bottom section you also have, a little, bulge area, and then there's also, a little bubble at the bottom of the middle of the saucer there. For the neck, you have, this, strut that is very narrow and located in the middle of the saucer that goes backwards at an angle, which connects into the, main fuselage here. Which has a deflector dish on the front. I know what that is. And then as you go to the back, not really a lot of details on the back of this here. I believe it just kind of ends in a point two, and it's got, more windows located radially. There's different things here. Coming off of the main little fuselage section here At an angle on either side, you have the two nacelles, and the nacelles are the thing that make it like, this is what gave it away to me, right? Is you have these little angled struts, and then at the end of each of them, you've got a nacelle, and these nacelles have a big bright light on the front of them. It is usually depicted as like a transparent red light, or red like glass window thing with lights going off in it. And yeah, I mean, it's the Enterprise. It is a Constitution class ship, I should say. NCC stands for what does NCC stand for? Actually, I don't know.
Great question.
I was going on to Memory Alpha real quick. I'm like, what is NCC? Oh wait, NCC has its own article. It is for. We don't actually know. Okay, I'm assuming, well, because I'm on Memory Alpha, right, which is only canon, which means it would have to be mentioned in a show. It has never been established in canon why NCC or NX were chosen for various ships, or if they have any relation to each other or what. So I'm sure if I went to, like, Memory Beta or something, there are probably books and whatnot that would have NCC as different things. Such as, okay, it says, yeah, the novel Best Destiny by Diane Carey gives NCC as Naval Construction Contract, that is a 1992 book. There might be others as well, but yeah. Anyway. But yeah, it is a Constitution class ship. It is designed for, exploring, and it also has, various weapons. I'm trying to think of, like, how to talk about it, because my brain's like, well, don't want to go, like, too deep on it, right? Because at some point we'll probably roll the actual one where I'll have to really get into the detail.
Sure. I mean, it's got deflector shields, it's got phasers, which,
it's got phasers.
It's got photon torpedoes. Did they have antimatter in this one, or is that only later? I know that by TNG it has antimatter that it can use.
It doesn't seem like it does any antimatter things.
Yeah, okay, that makes it. When it's introduced in TNG, it is like, this is a really fucked up thing we have now.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that it's a new thing at that point. Mm-hmm. Obviously it has warp drive.
Yeah,
it can
it goes fast.
Yeah.
The generally speaking, the warp engines are, in the nacelles, so if the nacelles are broken, you cannot warp. Which is bad, because space is quite large.
Yeah.
I believe if you are running on, as they call it, impulse, which is like, the standard engine, it is not, you are not speedy.
Here are a few, in-universe, sort of schematics.
Yeah.
This is just for Constitution class in general, not specifically the Enterprise, I believe. Yeah.
And of course, always to note, whether it's a phaser bank or a photon missile or photon torpedo launcher will kind of change.
Sure.
Mostly I just say that in a way where it doesn't really matter, because they never really make, like... It's weird, right? I only care about things like that if they make a plot point out of it and it ends up affecting a plot. But, like, whether it's a phaser bank or a photon torpedo bank doesn't really change how a scene would work, I guess, So it's one of the classic ones where I think about how, like, in Gundam, if something is inconsistently depicted as, like, a beam or a solid weapon, because that matters to, like, some plot elements, I would care more. Whereas, something like this, I don't. And so I always think of, like, the Enterprise, mixing around, like, what does what, as why I don't, just as an example where it's like, I don't care how accurate they are, but just, thing in my head.
Fun thing, the animated series actually lets us, at some point, go inside a nacelle.
Oh, that's fun.
So this is what they look like.
Yeah. Oh, you do not want that glass breaking.
It's probably fine.
No.
That's antimatter, but it's probably fine.
Right, because they do use antimatter for their warp engines, duh. So, yeah, comes into contact with matter, which means it explodes. That would be bad.
Yeah.
Alright, well.
All we have left is our special bonus.
Alright, well, let's fucking do it.
Which, of course, is just something I found and decided to torture you with.
Okay.
You sound excited.
Just hearing that it's you specifically picking this to torture me is not promising. Okay.
You might like it.
That is a leg, I believe. Because that's
correct.
A knee
It's
below
a leg.
it. What the fuck? Is this actually like a mecha?
This is It is a mecha. This is also a figure, right? This is a real world, toy of it.
Okay.
This is a variant of a design that exists, but this particular variant does not exist in animation. So I am kind of breaking the rules here.
Okay, yeah, that has actually only thrown me for more of a loop, so hold on.
I wanted to find, it says it's based on a particular piece of art, but I can't find an actual piece of art. I wonder if it's
Show me more then.
Okay.
Especially because of the way you worded this, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be able to guess this.
I'm going to give you... Oh, you know what?
Because at first when I saw this, my brain was thinking, well, is this going to be because Galvion turns into a giant car? Is this going to be Galvion? But that's not Galvion. Yeah, this is definitely not Galvion.
But what is it?
I have no clue.
Are you ready for a clue?
Yeah.
Let's make... Okay. I'm so torn. There are two different ways I could crop this, and one is way funnier.
The thing that really gets me, right,
one.
is the panel lining style on the thigh here is really weird.
Okay, you know what? We're gonna do two. We're gonna do one, and I hope you don't get it from this, so I can give you the one that's just a little bit expanded.
Oh! Okay, this is Optimus Prime / Convoy.
Damn it! I was hoping I could do
just
one
enough
more just to throw
that yes, the red on the color scheme is what really gave it away, and then you being like, oh, it's an interpretation of a character.
Well, that's the fun part, right? Is I was really hoping I could give you this next image, which would upset you.
Oh no!
I actually think this design's kind of fun.
Yeah, no, this one's actually, it's weird because there's a couple. This one right. She actually has also a robot face. If you're a coward, if I remember right, there's a other faceplate, but that's if you're a coward.
There is a human face you can put on her, but yeah, don't be a coward. Give her the robot face.
This is actually pretty fun. So this is a design based on Convoy, but it is a Mecha Musume, but definitely more on the mecha side of Mecha Musume. So for the head, you've got Optimus's kind of like crownish design where he's got the 4 antennae, he's got like 2 vertical ones, then he's got the 2 like ear ones that are more off to the side. And the way it's on this is it's kind of like, around the face, almost like I said, like kind of like worn around the head like a crown. Though obviously the sides and the back of the head are lower rather than it just being around the top of your head. Also has Optimus's little like forehead like mohawk piece there.
I'm really suffering right now. I'll tell you why in a minute.
The head itself, you've got blonde hair for this design's head, and on the back it is 2 twin tails. They're decently long. For the face, like I said, it's a robotic face with a little like bump for where the nose is, and it looks like it has like a little bump where a mouth is, but otherwise is robotic rather than humanoid. 2 large blue eyes that are solid blue in color. Then when you hit the torso, around the collar area, you've got the little truck lights on the top there. Instead of having the window, because this is supposed to be a girl, the windshield has been replaced with more breast-shaped clear blue. And then for the midsection, it kind of thins out, and you've got the truck grill and a little bit more silver parts in the middle, mostly red around the sides and a little bit of black around the waist connection area. For the arms, the shoulders are gray with some external shoulder armor matching Optimus's. You have the Autobot logo on the front of the left shoulder. You've got the smokestacks, the little pipes on the side. Moving on down the arm, the bicep is red on the top of it with a little bit of white armor, and then you have the joint itself, followed by the forearm, which is mostly in red, with some various panel lining, as well as like a little yellow, got like a little yellow piece on the top of it. And then the hands are in blue. The hands are designed kind of in your standard mecha way, where it's like a hand cover followed by, fingers that are segmented. For the waist, yellow part in the middle of the crotch area, and then 2 yellow skirt parts, or gray skirt parts with yellow, like, little details on the front of them. Gray side skirts, and then a gray rear skirt with, like, a little blue part on the bottom of it, as well as a hole for, like, plugging in a stand. It looks like it has 2 stand areas, so you can either put one probably in the upper back if you have it, like, standing, but you just want to have extra support, or if you want it in an aerial pose, you would probably use the lower one. For the thighs are more rounded. This is like the thing that was throwing me off with them, is they're rounded. They have some gray panels on the very front of them, interestingly, like just these 2 little square panels.
They look very Gundam for being, not Gundam.
And then, well, the other thing is, like, it actually being skirts, right, is the other thing that makes this feel more mecha-y, because very frequently in Transformers, they won't have skirts, the leg will just be a big square,
Yeah.
But yeah, then you have various panel lines around the leg. The lower legs are very boxy. You've got a little hexagonal knee piece with a line on the bottom of it. Always my favorite detail is when they make these little vents on the front of the leg on Optimus. On this they're gray. I like it whenever they're gray and silver. Sometimes they'll just be blue, and it's very boring when they're blue. But when they are gray or silver, I like them. And then around the side you have the little wheel wells with 2 wheels in them. And then you've got the little, like, gas canisters on the sides of the legs there. And then on the very bottom, for the feet, you've just got very flat feet. They do have, like, a little bit of ankle armor protecting the joint at the front. And then, she also has Optimus's classic rifle, which is it's got, like, a little stock on the top of it on the back. And it's got sometimes what appears to be a secondary grip, though they did make it look more like a clip on this, on the bottom. This is Optimus Prime, but more girl. So, what was the curse thing you saw?
So, the artist behind this is Humikane Shimada, who is also the primary designer behind Frame Arm Girls and Megami Device.
Okay, that actually makes complete sense.
And going to their Twitter, I was like, I wonder if I can find the original art of this. And there is some really cool stuff on here, right? Okay. Like, here is a just Leo design that they did real quick.
Oh.
Just like, oh, that's interesting, right?
Yeah, mustache Leo. That's really fun, actually. I like that.
And like, I'm having trouble placing, but like, here's just this, like, dog machine they made.
Oh, that's a Zoid.
Like, oh, that's cool looking. Oh, it's a Zoid.
That's like the old-fashioned Zoids. Like,
also, it seems like they are behind the ACME, which I didn't realize.
That completely makes sense with that head. Yes, yep, they are the ACME designer. I was wondering who made the ACME, because I was like, it doesn't look like the standard designs. So this makes sense, knowing that the ACME and the convoy here and whatnot are all the same designer.
Yeah, I mean, like, this tweet is like, the text of this is them being like, it seems like people are really enjoying the ACME, which is surprising and makes me happy. It's like, okay, great, yeah, nice. There's also some good fan art of Re-Rise here.
Oh, okay. I'm curious. Did this person do Mobile Doll Maze design too?
I don't think so.
Let me
maybe.
check.
I was enjoying it so much as a regular viewer that I have forgot I'm part of the official staff.
Fumikane Shimada. Yeah, he's the designer for the mobile doll. This now brings together so much in my head on, like, all these similar-looking mechanical girls.
I am surprised to learn that I've secretly been a fan of this guy's work. Especially because of the punchline, which I'll get to in a minute. There's also a really fun design they did of, like, there is a old Tatsunoko work from the 90s, Kyato Ninden Teande, which is just like robot ninja cats, basically. And they did, like, in their art style, a reinterpretation, which looks really fucking cool.
Okay, let's see. Okay, yeah.
And then there are a lot of images I'm not going to post, because what I've shown you here is about 5% of the art. And the other 95% is, like, everything but pornographic images of children, basically. I mean, listen, they can say it's anime, but, like, you have drawn these too young, and you've drawn everything but the nipple, and I'm not happy about it.
Yeah, no, that's in a way unsurprising, but I do like his mecha designs, though. Or his mechanical girl designs.
Yeah.
It is very funny learning that these are all the same artist, though.
It makes so much sense.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where it's like, oh, this now clicks into place for me. Huber Eats.
Please hit up, use your influence, contact the dev team behind Gundam Breaker 3, and tell them to make it so that you can change the colors.
I wonder
on
if he also made the mobile dolls for that. I would love if we got art for the mobile dolls in Breaker 4.
Probably did, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
I wonder if we can get credits for Gundam Breaker 3.
Or Breaker 4.
I mean, Breaker 4, yes, excuse me. Gundam Breaker 4, credits, Moby Games.
Oh, that makes sense.
First talent. Oh, man.
Problem, you know what one of the problems might be, though?
He might not be listed.
Well, not only that, but some of his machines are in the game anyway, because, like, Mobile Doll May is in the game.
Good point.
So
yeah,
if they just have a general mechanical designer's featured credit, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Well,
you know what's really funny is seeing that design. You know what that reminds me of is his most recent, the most recent SRBs, the biker one specifically, just because of the color scheme there.
Have I seen the biker one?
Give me 1 second. I'll pull it up if you haven't. Is it the D? SRB D. I'm pretty sure it's... Yeah. I don't know if you've seen this one, actually, but it's quite cool. I'm just waiting for this image to load so I can copy it and paste it. Here we are. Have you seen that one?
Oh, yes, I have. Yeah, that one's really cool.
I say biker just because the helmet, right, is just I see the helmet.
No, it makes sense.
This is the one I want to get real bad because it is really cool.
Same. It's great. It's great.
Anyway. Alright. Well, we leave off on that. Do we have anything else?
Uh-huh.
No,
that is...
Didn't know if we got any, like...
That is the whole ball of wax.
Last minute questions or anything either, just to do at the end here.
Nope. That's everything.
300 years of excellence.
300 years of excellence.
Yeah, we've done a lot. It's so weird to think about. And yet, in a way, does it feel like a ton? Because I'm like, well, we've been doing this since, like, what, 2019 or 2020? I think 2019.
Something like that.
This was, like, right after I moved over to Pittsburgh is, I think, when we started doing this.
I mean, the thing that makes it feel like a lot to me is when I look at the sheet and I'm like, oh, there are entire shows we can't do anymore because we've done that.
Yeah, right. Which is fun. But yeah, no, I mean, that's why we do so many requests lately, right? Is just, it's become harder and harder. We've actually covered a lot of Gundam.
Well, I mean, there's still tons to talk about. I feel
there's tons to talk about, but then again, like, when you start to narrow the range band down, we'll start having, like, weirdo ones where it's like, we'll talk about, like, 10 designs for, like, a short amount of time or something, because there's not a lot about them, right? Like, especially, like, the Gunpla-oriented shows and whatnot, which we haven't talked about as often. It's just, it's something I find interesting is all. But
I think, but from my end, that's a good benefit. From my end, the reason that I try and do request episodes so often is because we get a bunch of requests and I want to make listeners happy.
Well, I mean, yes, that too. But
I'm not trying to chide you, but that is my primary
that's fair
motivation.
though. That is fair. All right.
There's so much. I'm closing that. I was like, maybe I missed, like, because I really would love to see the original art this is based on, but it's not on this Twitter. I need to close it. I don't like most of what he draws.
Yeah. That is entirely fair. Well, like I said, it's like, oh, okay. The robot designs are clearly also going for a bit of a moe vibe, so my brain just goes, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But, the robots aren't making, like, ahoge faces with their tits out, which I appreciate.
Yeah. Or ahegao? Or is it ahoge? I can't remember. Which one's the bangs and which one's the face?
Ahoge is the hair. Ahegao is the
I just
face.
couldn't remember. I was
said.
just like, wait. I was like, am I misremembering?
I'm not sure which one I said, but whatever.
No, I understand the point, though, yeah.
Anyway.
All right. Well...
Yeah.
Six, where can people find...
Thanks for joining us.
Where can people find you online? I mean, I'm sure everyone knows. I'm expecting that this isn't someone's first episode, but maybe it is.
So you can find me on Blue Sky at Sixdetmar, SAXDETTMAR. There's also a Scanline Media Discord down in the show notes. I note those two first, because those are the two places I checked if anyone wanted something on the show. If you were like, hey, I would have loved to have something on, I mean, hey, check those places out. You can get a hold
here's
of
the thing.
You can ask for things.
We shotgunned a bunch of requests today. However, you can actually do more.
Yeah, we have a dedicated list of requests that we roll all the time. And you can get on the show in your own way. And then also my work is scanlinemedia.com or patreon.com/scanlinemedia. I do so many podcasts. I do some streams. I do some writing. I work very hard. I would appreciate your support, as would my fellows over at Scanline Media. Dylan, what about you?
You can find me at Blue Sky at lowpolyrobot, where I mostly just post what I am doing actively at the time. For the moment, it is I have been playing Shin Megami Tensei 2, the sequel to Shin Megami Tensei. It's a fun game. Definitely a slow burn thus far. Though, to be fair, some of that has been... The game likes to make you wander a lot. But I've been enjoying it. Otherwise, I just kind of, post whatever I've been up to. Sometimes I randomly post my old shit posts, like, for video listeners here. This image edit I made once while playing San Andreas, because it popped up in my head when I saw Smoke is Dead. For the listeners, it is a picture of me failing a mission because Smoke died in, San Andreas, and then it has the text at the bottom from The Elder Scrolls Morrowind when you kill a plot-important NPC before they're supposed to go away, and it says, with this character's death, the thread of the prophecy is severed. Restore a save game to restore the weave of fate or persist in the doomed world you have created. Funny to me every time. And also, I still don't remember why I made this. I made this image in, 2018. And it's just Choo-Choo. I think I just found the exact frame of animation of him really funny there. And I used to, especially before I moved out here, when I used to be much more sad and alone in Vegas, I would very frequently just kind of do things arbitrarily, like a ghost or a dog. That's a Charles Barkley Shut Up and Jam quote. But yeah, no, I just kind of did stuff because I was just like, oh, I'm bored and sad. What should I do? I saw a funny image. What if I took The Last Supper and just did this to it? I don't know why I did it. Anyway.
Sure. I mean, listen, if we're just posting random unfunny memes that we've made...
Extremely rude to... Hold on, it's not a meme! I didn't make it to be a meme, I made it to be just I made something weird. Which, I guess, essentially that could be
I apologize for insulting your art.
I mean, look, the San Andreas one's really good, I think.
The San Andreas one's pretty good. But you no-sold my man who erased his game, so...
You know what? That's fair.
For the listener. It's funny, alright?
It is pretty good.
But, anyway. It doesn't matter if racing never changes. What matters is if we let racing change us. Every one of us has to find a reason to do this. You don't climb into a T-180 to be a driver. You do it because you're driven.
Peace.
Peace.